Alexis,
Hi.
hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. I feel like it's such a pleasure to talk to you. Tell me all the things. What's happening with you?
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so good. I'm currently in LA.
Hmm.
I just released my album on Friday, which is so
Yes.
exciting.
Right.
Yeah, all the good things. I've been writing a ton and just, enjoying the sunshine out here before I go back to Vancouver.
Is it snowing and cold there yet?
Not yet, not quite. It's definitely getting it's like hoodie and pants season out there, so it's definitely getting a little rainy, but it's
Okay.
good. It feels like fall, which is nice.
But you know what's interesting? I feel like that does not happen at here whatsoever. And I want
No.
a good rainy, I love a good hoodie weather, a good like cold weather. You know what I'm saying? I am ready
Hmm.
for it because it's been so hot here lately.
Right. Oh my God, the heat wave is crazy. Yeah, it's eternal summer here.
So tell me about Real Talk.
Oh, yeah, it's my first like conceptual album that I've done. I just put it out on Friday the 23rd.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's I started writing this album during the pandemic, unintentionally. I really didn't mean to write an album when I started writing it, but I wrote the first few songs, and I think the pandemic really gave me this time to be really introspective and vulnerable, and we had so much alone time. And when I wrote the first couple songs, I kind of realized I was like, oh my God, this is like all centered around the same theme. And it really became this, I was like, I'm writing an album. And it became this exploration of mental health and its effects on, like my life and the people around me. And yeah, it's a 9-track album. I talk about everything from depression to eating disorders to addiction. And it's kind of curated in this one long track list to this journey of, struggling with mental health and eventually healing and coming out on the other side, which is what we all hope for.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm really proud of it. It's been a long time coming. So it's really exciting to me that it's out.
I am so proud of you that you were able to do this because I remember going through the quarantine thinking to myself, I am so scared. I cannot wait until all of this is over. And I felt so alone. So the fact that you were able to, I guess, verbalize those feelings and create an album out of it, hats off to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What are some of the things that you found out about yourself while, I guess, creating this album?
I think I found a lot of healing in it. Honestly, it was really therapeutic for me. I think it gave me a lot of time to really self-reflect and to really be able to, face some things that you're often able to ignore when life is just busy.
Mhm.
And so I was able to be really, really vulnerable and really honest in the writing, and that honestly terrified me when I was writing it. There were
Right.
a couple of songs that I wrote, and I was like, I don't know if I ever want to put this out. I don't know if I want people to hear this because it was so personal and it was so honest. But I think I found that writing it was helped me and it was therapeutic for me. And I thought, like maybe this could help other people. And, when I showed some people some of the songs like Anna, I wrote Anna about my having an eating disorder.
Mhm.
And when I played it for someone else, because I was like, I don't know if I can ever, put this out to the world, but I played it for one of my friends and I just saw this wave of realization wash over her face and this like, oh my God, I've been there and I know exactly what this is about. And to me, that's one of the most important things and one of the highest compliments as a songwriter. And I think that's when I realized I was like, this project could really be something personal for people. And I think that's what really made me decide that like, okay, this is coming out and this is going to happen.
Was it hard being so vulnerable?
Yeah, it's scary. Like I think
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, like as especially like I think as for anyone it's scary. And as an artist, like you have releasing music to people, no matter how many people listen to it, you get people that maybe you wouldn't necessarily verbalize these things to. They get to hear the most intimate parts of your life, which can be scary. But I think that's what I love about my favorite music and my favorite artists and songs is you get to look into their lives, but you also get to hear things that you're like, I've been there and I've never had the words for that. And you just verbalize something that has made me feel so seen or so heard, and like I'm not alone in this. And I think that's what is important to me as an artist. And I think that's what I really, as scary as this album was, I think that's what I really wanted to get across.
Alexis, you know what's interesting? The fact that you can write something that means so personal to you, right? That we all went through this whole situation, the pandemic, and the fact that people will take that away and say to themselves, I can relate to what she's going through, or I can relate to whatever the fact that you're writing about, they can relate to. I feel like that has to be the highest compliment as
Yeah.
songwriter.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I think every day I'm on the internet, I'm reminded that there is not a single unique experience in this world. I think like the human experience is so relatable, and we all have, how no matter how different our stories are, we all have the same struggle and the same joy and the same happiness. And I think it's really interesting, but I also think like that's what my favorite songs are too, is something that's so, you hear it and it could be about such a specific and personal situation, but that emotion, and I think that experience of that is so universal,
But
which is always mind-blowing.
Right. But what's interesting, I feel like that's never necessarily the intent. Like, you're just writing it to get it out. And the fact that people find your songs and like go through what you're going through at the same time is just so magical to me. I think that's how magical music is, if that makes sense.
It's crazy. It's really beautiful. And I think that's what I really love about it. But it's something so personal to you can really affect so many other people.
What is your favorite part about making music?
I think like the moment when you're writing it and it just clicks and you realize like this is becoming something. Because I think I talk a lot with my co-writers about like how like songwriting is. I remember one of my co-writers, Brandon, said like songwriting is you're kind of creating something out of thin air. And I think all creativity is kind of like that, but you're grabbing these little bits and pieces that are just kind of floating in the air, and seeing it all come together as something so cohesive it's magical, for like lack of a better word. It's really cool. So I think, the writing process is my favorite, because it can be, it's like a puzzle in a way, and seeing it all come together is really rewarding and also just mind blowing.
I gotta say, I love when people talk about mental health, and I love how easy it is to talk about it right now, because I feel like back in a day, or not even back in a day, a couple of years ago, it would be so taboo and nobody talks about mental health, or nobody talks about how they're feeling. And I think that it's so good that it's out on the forefront. How important is it for you to just be that advocate?
Yeah, I think like you said, there's always been such a stigma around mental health, and such this is something we don't talk about, or it's too hard to talk about. Which it's really hard to talk about, but I think being open in that conversation is one of the most important aspects in healing. And being able to talk about it and being able to invite others into that conversation. And there's such an isolation, I think, that comes along with mental health, and I think that's one of the most detrimental things, is feeling like you're alone, or feeling like you can't talk about it. And so to create this space where it's saying it's okay to struggle with these things, and it's okay when they're really dark and it's really hard, but it's we're all not alone in that. And so I think to be a part of that conversation has always been really important to me, as someone who's struggled with my own mental health and seen so many people I love struggle with their own mental health. Again, I think it can be a very universal experience. And I think to be open in that, as an artist, but also just as a person, has been really important, and also healing for me.
Do you know what? When you think about it, you never know how you're helping someone just talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Just like, somebody can be going through something, they hear you talk about it, and they may decide to, to reach out to someone or to get help about it. You know what I mean? And that has to be such a rewarding feeling that you were able to help them like that.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, because I think for me too, like some of the people I look up to most have been open in that conversation, and that's helped me. So I think to be able to even think that like I may have done that for someone else is really cool.
Do me a favor and tell me about Something to Prove Out.
Yeah, Something to Prove. So I did a rewrite of Complex, which went viral on TikTok. So the song Complex by Katie Gregerson McLeod, that went viral on TikTok. I did a rewrite from a bisexual perspective, struggling with a male validation complex. Another one of those things that when you're really vulnerable and you don't think about people on the internet see. And it had a mini viral moment. So I decided to take my lyrics and I rewrote my own song from that perspective. And I think, again, it was something that I had struggled with, and I had no idea how, again, I guess kind of universal that was, or how many other people had related to that. I had no clue that was such a relatable thing for so many bisexual women. So I wrote my first verse on TikTok, and then I ended up writing the entire song, and I finished it recently. So it's going to be coming out quite soon. But yeah, that was another one of those really personal things that I didn't expect to touch so many people, I guess. But I think, there's a lot of like patriarchal views that can affect women, especially, I think all women, but I think also being bisexual and having this validation, and having this women being deemed worthy in the eyes of a man. I think subconsciously, no matter how comfortable you are with yourself or how comfortable you are with your sexuality. For me, it's affected me subconsciously without realizing it. And so, yeah, I think it was something that again was just really close to my heart and was really personal, but I really showed how many people related to it, which I was shocked.
I was about to say that had to be. It's interesting, like how going viral is almost a gift and a curse when you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah, I was like, oh great, now everyone, that's not very mysterious of me. Now everybody knows my
Right.
deepest, darkest struggles.
Right. I think that is the one thing that would drive me crazy about the whole situation going viral. It's like it's honestly a gift and a curse. And when you were talking about it, I was like, God, I hate the internet, but then I also
Yeah.
love the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like that viral moment initially, did it drive you crazy, or you were like, oh my gosh, this is so dope? But
Well, I had like recorded the rewrite of it at like midnight, and I just posted it. I didn't really think that it would, like, I didn't think anyone would really see it, let alone like
right.
everyone, all my friends and all my family. And being like, I wasn't expecting to open up like that to such a large audience, which I think again, like I'm so grateful. That's really, it's amazing. And it's amazing to see people's responses. Like it's so touching to see people feel seen and feel heard. I think that's so special. But yeah, it's not something that you expect. It's not something that you expect to be seen like that and to be vulnerable like that. But I think that's really a special part of music.
I tell you, it takes a special person to be vulnerable. I tell you that.
Yeah.
Let us know, what are you working on next?
I've been out here writing. I'm really just celebrating the release of my album and working on getting something to prove out there for the world to hear and for everyone to hear. I'm really excited for that. And I'm just continuing to write and to perform and do all of the things, you know.
Alexis, you have great
Mm.
energy.
Oh, thank you. So do you.
I can feel it. I hope that things continue to prosper. I've really enjoyed having this conversation with you, and I hope that you continue to go out there and kill it to make your mark on the world.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.